This video is brought to you by Miniature Market. Thousands of board games, discounted prices, miniaturemarket.com.
Hello my friends, it's the Game Boy Geek here. Today we are going to be taking in packets of air and trying to distill the oxygen, the nitrogen, the krypton out to try to get Xenon. Today we're looking at Xenon Profiteer. We're trying to make money off that Xenon, fulfilling contracts, but upgrading our systems in the same way. This is a deck building game. Let me show you how it's played. 2 to 4 players, takes about 30 minutes. I'll see you on the other side, give you my final thoughts. In Xenon Profiteer, you'll be dealing with elements that make up air, trying to distill down to Xenon, and then upgrading your engine, as well as fulfilling contracts. At the beginning of the game, you get a distill card, which is going to be the main part of your board in front of you. You have bid tokens, $3, and then 2 starter upgrade cards. You'll also start with 2 packets of air. Anytime you take a packet of air, you take 1 of each. So you got krypton, oxygen, nitrogen, and xenon. You take 2 of those. That makes up your starting deck that you will shuffle together and draw 5 cards. So my draw deck's down here. I drew 5 cards. These would be in my hand. The first thing you do is distill. So essentially you look at those elements and you get rid of them, all of them, starting from the top. So if I have any nitrogen or multiple nitrogens, I would take these and put it back into the supply. That's the end of my distill, and I'm left with a few other ones here. So I got krypton and xenon. If for some reason this krypton was not here, and you get down to the point where you're distilling and you have just xenon, that's what you're trying to do, is get everything away except xenon, you would then put that to the right, showing that you have 1 xenon there waiting. But in this case, we still had krypton and xenon, so we just get rid of the nitrogen. That is essentially distilling. The next thing you do is either get another packet of air and $2, or wipe. Getting air again is taking 1 of each of 4 of those. You'd get that and $2. You'd put those into your discard pile. Or instead of that, you can wipe, which essentially is clearing all the cards from either the upgrade line or the contract line and refilling up to 4 cards. Then I can either buy or bid. Now this line up here, let's talk about buying first. These are contracts. You basically can buy most of these for free. Essentially you buy them and you're waiting, but you can only hold 1 of them while you're waiting to do this. So let's say if I bought this one, I would put it over here to the right there, and eventually once I get enough xenon, 2 for 2, I would then be able to flip this over like that, and now we know that is completed. Then I could add another one that I'm working on. Essentially it's sort of reserving this card for you. This also tells you how much money you'd get and how many points you'd get at the end of the game for actually completing this card. And if you use the xenon, they would go back into the supply. Now if instead I had bought this, it would cost me 5, and this is a pipeline. This pipeline essentially attaches to the bottom of my distill card here. But this always allows me to increase my card size by 1, so usually I draw 5 cards, just allow me to draw 6. At the end of the game, it's going to give me 1 point. If later on I build a second pipeline, which would go there, now each of these is going to be worth 2 points, so I'd get 4 points and I get more cards. And if I do the third one, essentially each of these is going to be worth 3 points, so this is 9 points at the end if I do all 3 pipelines, and I get to hold up to 8 cards. Now we're still talking about the buy action. You only get to buy 1 thing. I'm just kind of showing you the different things that you could buy. Here are upgrades. You could spend the cost of the big one here and grab it and put it into your discard pile for that number. Or right away you could spend this number and not only buy it and you don't put in your discard, you actually install it. So for instance, if I had $7 and I wanted to buy this, this allows me to distill. It would distill all of the oxygen in my hand. If I paid 7, I could immediately install it. So the blue matches up with the left side of my distill, and now this side is all upgrades and this side is all contracts. And now when I distill, I can automatically distill all the O's in my hand, which will allow me to get to xenon faster. Now if I had bought this for 3 and put it in my discard pile, and then later on during a turn had it in my hand, I can pay this 4 to install it. Essentially the 3 plus the 4 is the 7, so you can either install it immediately and pay 7, or buy it, put it in your discard for 3, and later on when you draw it, spend 4 to install it. That's how the upgrades work. And as you can see, the upgrades do different things, like once per turn, complete a contract using 1 fewer xenon. So that essentially allows you to maybe finish this with just 1 instead of 2. This is a good card. They help you with distilling. They help you, move three of your bid tokens. They just allow you to sort of get your engine building. Some of them getting you points for every $2, things like that. This just helps you kind of get your engine going. Now, if I didn't buy, I could bid. Now bidding allows me to put a bid token. What this means is if somebody buys this, they're going to owe me $1 for every bid token I have on here. You're only placing 1 during your bid action. But let's say I did this. Someone bought this for 1, they would pay me 2. Let's say I bought this later. If I buy this, this is worth $1, so I get this for free. Let's say I had 2 on here and I bought this. I actually get $1 from the bank and this because each of those is worth $1. Now, if somebody wipes, these would get wiped and no cards with bid tokens would get wiped. So it stops you from getting wiped and it's basically giving you $1 no matter who buys it. You're getting $1 when you bid. That's how bidding works. At the end of your turn, after you've gone through this, you can, if you want to, discard all the rest of your cards in your hand, or you can keep them. It's up to you. Just draw back up to 5, and it's the next player's turn. Also on your turn, you have a different option. Instead of doing this, distill, arrow wipe, buy or bid, you can flip this over, and essentially if you really need to distill badly, you can go through the distill process twice, and then you bid twice, and then you reshuffle all the cards in your deck to get a new deck. And then your next turn, you must flip this over and do a normal action pool. It continues until any one person has got 5 completed contracts or 5 installed upgrades. At that point, that player can decide to either take this token and have it be 3 points at the end of the game, or give himself the final turn, which it would go around again and he would get the final one to try to get more than 3 points, obviously. At the end, you'd count up all the points on all your completed contracts. You'd get 1 point for each completed upgrade. You'd get points for any of your tunnels, and then you'd get 1 point for every $5 that you have. And the one who has the most is the winner. All right, well, there's Xenon Profiteer. I want to do a disclaimer here that I'm not typically a fan of deck builders. In fact, I only have 1 deck building game in my entire collection, and that's Baseball Highlights 2045, and it's almost not even a deck builder. It's a little different. So in general, I don't typically enjoy deck builders. Let me tell you about the things that I did like about Xenon Profiteer. I like the theme. It's different. It's not something you're going to see all the time, and I applaud people that are doing things different. We're not looking at zombies, we're not looking at fantasy, we're not looking at trading in Mediterranean. We're not regurgitating the same theme over and over, and I like that they went for something different, especially something sort of scientific. I'm an engineer, and I like that science type of thing. I liked the idea of taking those air packets in and then having to distill them. I like the idea of, hey, what am I going to do? Am I going to go after a bunch of upgrades and make it maybe easier to distill or give me some advantages in bidding or things like that? Or am I going to go straight after, trying to go for some of those contracts, maybe going for the pipelines and getting your hand up? So there's interesting decisions to make. But all in all, at the end of the day, to me, it still just felt like a deck builder, even though I like this theme better than, say, a Dominion or things like that. The game itself, I don't think it brought enough new things to set it aside from other deck builders, I guess I should say. And not that every game has to bring a bunch of new stuff, but it has to do something that grabs you. And in this case, this game didn't do anything that did that for me. I didn't see any specific flaws in the game. If you like deck builders, if it's like your favorite genre and this theme speaks to you, then it's probably one that you should try out and see if you like it. If you like other deck builders and you have like your favorites that you want to move, this one might not have anything different enough to make you move and jump to this one as well. With that being said, it's not a bad game. It's just not one that jumped out to me. It's not one that grabbed me and is going to make me want to play it over and over. But then again, I don't love deck builders. A valiant effort, but not great, not terrible. Sort of in the middle for me. That's Xenon Profiteer.
This video was sponsored by Miniature Market's Review Corner. The Review Corner features podcasts, video, and written game reviews by gamers for gamers. Miniature Market, the online gaming superstore. Thousands of board games, discounted prices. Check them out at miniaturemarket.com.